Hi everyone, my name is Samantha and welcome to my YouTube channel, Sewing in Switzerland. So, today's video is a review of the Baker Seamwork dress. Now, if anybody watched the video last week, you would have seen that I was stuck halfway through because the instructions didn't make sense. And I asked for your help and it was fantastic and I'm very, very grateful for your help. I needed a couple days to just not look at it. After I made the video, I just got so frustrated that I couldn't do it. And I was reading your comments and I was just getting like in a real tangle of how to do it. And then I know Kim messaged and she said that there was other videos out there of people that have tried to make this dress and got stuck at the same point. And so I was watching that video and they didn't say how they'd solved it. And then I was looking on Instagram reviews and there was a lot of reviews saying the same thing. And I was just getting really, like, not stressed, but, you know, frustrated from the fact that I couldn't work out how to do it. So I just needed a couple days to just not look at it, to be honest. And then when I came back to make it, I did not look at the instructions and just kind of sat with it organically how I thought it should go together. And I think the instructions are wrong because they just don't make any sense. And I kind of figured it out and, you know, a lot of you were right in what you were saying. The way that the panel that we were talking about, which is this kind of side panel that we've got here that runs all the way down, works as like an archway. So it kind of goes together as if you were like making the bottom piece of a handbag, for instance, or like the lining, right? It kind of folds outwards like an archway and then you kind of pin it together and sew round. And it kind of makes sense when you're doing it, but if you're following the instructions, then it doesn't make sense at all, because the instructions say to roll up one side as if you're doing the burrito method, and then the instructions to actually pin it aren't right. Like, the picture and the instruction do not match what you actually have to do to make it work. So that was very frustrating. So I want to give an honest review about the pattern and how I got on with it and my first impressions of using a Seamwork pattern and being subscribed to their subscription model, which I think is about 200 quid for the year, maybe just a little bit under. So first impressions of the dress now that it's finished, I was kind of going for like forest, you know, witch, forest sprite, something very kind of floaty and twirly and beautiful. You know, a lot of gathers, a lot of fabric to move in. At the very least, you know, like an extra from the Outlander show, right? Instead, I've landed bang on Lord Farquaad out of Shrek. I think it's a combination of the haircut with the sleeves, but I definitely 100% look like Lord Farquaad out of Shrek. So it wasn't where I was hoping to land, but we're going to make it work. Why not? You know, maybe I could become a linebacker for some American football team. Why not? So yeah, the sleeves, they're not working for me at all. And the fabric recommendations was a cotton, but I don't recommend using a cotton. I think if you're going to make this dress, go for something like a rayon or a viscose challis, something with, you know, a lot of movement, a lot of swish, a lot of drape. Don't go for anything even as stiff as a cotton, because you'll end up like what we got going on up here. So my first order of business is I'm going to take out the elastic and I'm going to pull the sleeve up a little bit, make like a little flutter sleeve. I think also the fact that we're now in the middle of a heat wave and it's currently 32 degrees outside and about 28 degrees in the sewing room is contributing to how I feel about this dress, this winter dress, because it's very thick and also it's like fully lined, like the top, the bodice part, which is not helping the situation. So yeah, I'm gonna remove the elastic, take a little bit off, and then make like a nice flutter sleeve. So that's like my first thing. The next thing I would immediately change is I would add an inch onto the bodice piece, because it's, if you've got, you know, a big bust, it's gonna pull up too high and it's not gonna sit, like it's just sitting too high for it to look as it should, in my opinion. I would also shorten it and then add like a ruffle or maybe like a little side slit, something to kind of break up the mass of fabric that we've got going on from like below the bust area. The next thing I would do is the back piece. I'll just show you. I've just realised I meant to stick a safety pin in because I haven't stuck a button on, but you'll get my drift. So I'll just turn around. My cameraman is back on point here. I wasn't planning on doing this. Sorry, babes. So you can see, woo, here, and then the button will go on and it will, like, you know, sit like that. You don't need this at all. You don't need a button fastening here. I would just, instead of making like 2 extra pieces, I would just cut this back piece on the fold instead and cut it out as like 1 piece, because you don't need that, because you've got the slit and the tie here. You can just pull it on over your head. You don't need the back piece with a button at all. It's like adding 10 different extra steps that just seem a little bit unnecessary for the point of adding a button that isn't actually functional. So yeah, that would be my next thing, is to make that into 1 piece. I also didn't make the slit as very low because I was hoping that I could wear this to dog walk, and I didn't want to like bend over to pick up a poo and have my cantaloupes fall out. So I made the slit much higher, but I think actually I should have followed the steps there and made it to the actual length. So other than that, I think it's okay. I think if I can, like, let me just talk you through the vision for it, right? So this dress on its own, I don't think it works. But imagine it in like winter time with some pattern tights, maybe some like brown, kind of a caramel brown pixie boots, or like the witchy boots, you know, with the laces up the front that kind of come up the calf. And then with a chunky hand knit scarf with like the phases of the moon on, just to really lean into that dandelion and witchy vibe that I want it to have, right? And then imagine like a quilted jacket over the top in like a forest green with like some mustard accents, or, you know, maybe some kind of caramel accents from the match with the boots. And then to like really warm up the dress, some gold jewelry. So like some little gold hoops, you know, a little high up gold necklace, something, you know, to warm it up. I think styled like that and without these sleeves, it could work quite well, right? But it does need some adjusting. I'm also going to take some length off the bottom and add a ruffle just to make it a little bit more exciting, because it's just such an expanse of fabric below the bust. So yeah, it was okay, I think. Do you know, it took quite a lot to get here. It took several days just trying to decipher the pattern instructions. And honestly, I could have taken the True Bias Roscoe blouse and added a panelled gathered skirt to that and had the same dress for like a quarter of the trouble, to be perfectly honest. Now the pattern itself does say advanced beginner, but I feel if you approached this pattern with only a couple of, you know, garments under your belt or not a lot of experience, you would be throwing your machine out the window. So I wouldn't recommend it as an early beginner pattern to start with. Just because of the level, the detail of the instructions versus the support you get. I just don't think it's there. I think you're best off making like the True Bias Roscoe shirt, which has a very, very similar shape. And is much easier to construct. Now the bodice is also fully lined, okay, so, which it really doesn't need to be. You could just get away with like a nice little facing just to make this V shape, and then away you go. You don't need to make the back piece lined and the front piece lined, and it adds like unnecessary bulk and weight, and it's fine again for like a winter dress, but certainly not for summer. Absolutely not for summer. I am very sweaty. So in terms of the instructions given, I mean, you saw the problems I had with the panel, adding the panel. I actually did email them. And I did get a response, right? And I don't know if I'm just becoming more Swiss because we've been here for like six years? Babe, have we been here 6 years? Yes, thumbs up from the cameraman. We've been here 6 years now. And if you are having a correspondence with someone, right, it's very, very formal. Unless that person explicitly invites you to use the informal you, right? You have to correspond with that person very formally. And that goes from everything from like the doctors to the vets to, you know, office appointments, gynecologist, and anything you can think of. If you don't know the person, you know, neighbours, you speak to them very formally. So of course I sent this email and I was like, oh, hello. Hello, how are you? My name's Samantha. And the email that I got back didn't even acknowledge me. And I don't know if that's just me spending too much time in, you know, a very formal environment, or if it was a bit rude. But it didn't say like, hi Sam or hello. It just said, so I said, you know, I'm hoping to get some instruction, or if I could please speak to someone about the construction of the C panel onto the dress. Please advise, you know. And the email I got back literally said, we have a video for this. And then a link to a video. That was it. And they're like, hi Sam. So I don't know if like I'm just spending too much time in Switzerland, but don't think I would email someone and not say hi. But it's fine. That is fine. That's me being pernickety, and we can blame that on the heat and me being pedantic. That's fine. But when I clicked the link, the video that it sent me to was labelled as a sew-along by Seamwork, but actually was only an instructional video for attaching the sleeves, which is just a set-in sleeve with an elastic base. It's not with a little gathered poof here. It's not an unusual way of putting in a sleeve. And the lining for the yoke piece, which again is pretty straightforward, to be perfectly honest. You just pin it and sew it around, flip it, and away you go. There was nothing, you know, groundbreaking here. So, and that was it. That was what the video was about. So I don't know if it was like a deliberate misdirection and she just didn't want to deal with my email and wanted to mark it as like done or whatever, but it was a bit frustrating because I was like, well, you haven't answered my question, because I'm specifically talking about a problem that a lot of people have had based on the incorrect instructions. And she just completely ignored that and directed me to a video that actually, A, didn't give me the information that I wanted, and B, was labelled as a sew-along but only showed you how to do 2 steps of the construction of the garment, which to me isn't a sew-along. it's like a, I don't know, a little helpful summit on the side, right? So my next order of business, because a lot of people like that I've come across that have even spoke out about this are having problems with the construction. So I'm going to make a sew along and I'm going to upload it to the YouTube channel, because now that I know how to do it, I want to pass that knowledge on so that, you know, other people who have got this cut out and slung into a corner because they can't bear to look at it can now go and complete it. So that's my next order of business. I've got to get some more fabric because it really takes up a lot of fabric. And then I'll put that video out. I don't know whether to do the sew along following their instructions as is, or if I make my adjustments where I add like a little extra to the bodice here and cut out the back panel on like a fold rather than separate pieces, because I just don't want to deal with the button thing and the construction of that, because we don't need to. So yeah, something to think about. So overall, it hasn't been a great experience, both with their customer service team and with the instructions and with the actual construction of the dress. However, okay, we'll take it as, you know, it's my first project back. We'll give them like the benefit of the doubt here. I'm going to make another project of theirs just to see how it compares, and to compare the resources that are provided on a different project as well, to see if it's just, you know, like a fluke or something, like an oversight or whatever. Benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt. So my question to you guys is, are you going to make this dress? Also, what are you working on? Because I really need some inspiration. I really just need to be able to pick up something and run with it, because I'm feeling a bit sluggish, and it's a combination of the heat wave and being, you know, easing my way back into the sewing room. So I want something that I really massively have to think about, just to take it easy. So I'd like to know what you're all working on, because I'm in some desperate need of some inspiration. And that's all from me. And if you could please like and subscribe and turn on your notifications for the video. My husband always said, you gotta tell them to like and subscribe if you want new subscribers. He doesn't sound like that, my voice broke. Got very high pitched at the end. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you're all having a great week. And thank you so much for your help last week. You got me massively out of a funk, and this beautiful Shrek dress would not have been completed without all your help, and I am so grateful, so grateful for all of you and the sewing community. And yes, thank you. Love you all. Bye.